Hey everybody, it's Lunch and Learn. I'm Diane Covington. I'm super excited because I started thinking, what can we do to get our clients more engaged? Now, the ideas I'm going to share with you, you might have a completely different type of clientele. So I'm going to give you a couple ideas. If you've got people who are really involved in Facebook and very engaged in Facebook, like you post something and they get a lot of comments and a lot of feedback and you're selling, that's different than those who post on Facebook and no one comments, no one sees it. There's no interaction, right? Some of you do really, really well sending out samples and getting people together virtually or in person, and others of you prefer to not have samples. So the ideas I'm going to give you, you make them yours. You just change into whatever's going to fit your needs. But what I'm wondering is, what if you could schedule? I don't know about you, but I'm going to have a record-breaking September because I already decided that. So how do you have a record-breaking September? One of the ways I will tell you is one is you have to decide, because this business is 99.9% belief. Seriously, if you believe that you're going to have a record-breaking September, then you will. Absolutely. Now, no matter what month you're listening to this, this applies to anybody who wants to start hosting their own thing, hosting their own things, getting more customer engagement, more customer involvement, more girlfriends, more family engaged. Because it's deceiving for us to think that I'm just going to post 8 things on Facebook and my phone's going to ring off the hook. To me, it's kind of like picking a couple telephone poles in my neighborhood, tacking up a flyer, and then I'm going to sit in my house and wait for someone to knock on my door. I could say free cupcakes, and I'm going to post 6 flyers on random telephone poles. Well, if someone doesn't stop to read the flyer or doesn't like cupcakes or whatever, no one's going to come to my door. So I want you guys to be thinking about posting a little differently. So what if you started, and these are just ideas, but what if you started with a little bit of a survey? So I'm going to share with you really quick this survey, and I will post this so you guys can do this, but I wouldn't post it to look like this. I'd probably type it up on something cute, like a little Canva pic collage. But it says on here, and you could actually write this. So this would go out to, so if you're taking notes, you want to probably send this in an email. You might even want to send it in a text, and you can also post it on Facebook. If they see it in more than one place, that's a good thing. But chances are the people who are avid emailers are not necessarily avid Facebook people, or people who don't do Facebook might only do texting, and vice versa. So you could say to them something like, if you're going to post this on Facebook, please list the numbers that apply below that are most concerned, most concerned about, or you want to know more about. Now, I would probably word that a little differently. That's not my favorite wording, but I'll change that up before I actually post it for you guys. So, but these are some topics. So let's say I see this in a text. I would say, I might personalize it and say, hey Suzanne, I'm doing some research and I'd love your input. Please text me back all the numbers that apply to you that you're most concerned about or want more information about, or you're curious about. Number 1, lines and wrinkles, firming and toning skin. 2, hydration. 3, lines around eyes. 4, puffy eyes, bags around the eyes or dark circles. 5, exfoliation. 6, what do serums do? The next one is, what is retinol? How does retinol work? Because people, they keep buying products that has retinol in it, but nobody understands what it does. Number 8, what are different masks? What are the different masks, and kind of like, what do they do? Number 9 is age spots and discoloration. And 10 is blackheads and or blemishes. So let's say this is your average client. And let's say she says, okay, well, I definitely, number 1, number 2, I don't really have much issues with my eyes, but I'm really curious about serums. I'm curious about retinol. So 1, 2, 6, and 9. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to, when you see these texts, you can maybe just get a pad of paper, put the client's name or maybe their phone number if they text it back to you, and write down what numbers they do, 1, 2, 7, and 9, or whatever. And you're going to keep track of this. And what you do is the second they send you a response, you can text them back or comment on their response on Facebook, something like, thanks so much for your input. I'll keep you posted on the results. And so what's fun is you can say, I'm taking a poll, posting the results on Monday. And that way, people who respond by text, by email, whatever, you're collecting information. Now, what are you going to do with all this information? Well, now, first of all, what the one client is saying she's interested in. So if it's somebody who's interested in lines and wrinkles or retinol, and you do an event and it has to do with lines and wrinkles, you can invite them, right? So what if in September you could do, and these are just some ideas, you would do 8 little mini sessions. Okay, so 8 little mini sessions, and these little 8 mini sessions could be 10 minutes or less. and you would pick a topic. Like let's say one is puffy eyes, bags, circles, or dark circles. So you're going to talk about instant puffiness reducer. You're going to probably talk a little bit about eye cream, and you're going to talk about the hydrogel eye patches. So how fast could you talk about those? You don't need a 15-minute thing about your eyes, but you would go in and you maybe show some before and after pictures, and I can give you all the resources you need, but you would have a topic that says, and you could have different themes. So we're just came up with a little short list. You could do something like Tuesday tutorial. And so you could do like Tuesday, Thursday tutorials, and every Tuesday and every Thursday, you would do one of these classes. So if you just pick the 8 that got the most responses of everybody, right? The most popular 8 topics, or you could do all 10 topics and just go 5 weeks out, go all the way into the beginning of October. You guys, here's the deal. This would build your confidence. It's going to build your knowledge about the product. Your customers would rather see you than a company video. Nothing against the company videos, but they'd really rather see you. They'd rather hear from you, right? So you could have a Tuesday tutorial. You could have skincare boot camp, and you could say, oh my gosh, skincare boot camps every Tuesday and Friday on their lunch break. Now, if they miss it live, they can always go back and watch it. We're going to talk about that. You could also do a thing called like Wake Up Wednesday, or you could maybe do something like Friday Facial Fun. And so whatever you decide to call these, you could, or you could just say something like, you know, skincare back to school, back to skincare school, or you could even steal any of the company's names and how they have them. All right. So let's say you come up with 8 topics, 8 things you want to teach. All right. Or let's say you want to do all 10. What you're going to do is you're going to now go into the Mary Kay in Touch part, and you're going to look for videos that already train on this. So once you go into the company's stuff and you go on Video Lounge, remember, if you do these, you don't have to have necessarily shareable videos. You can have videos that are not shareable because you're not sending them out. You're going to be playing them. All right. So even if it's a non-shareable video, you could totally use that. So let's just say you're doing one on puffy, on the under eye puffiness, whatever. Okay. When you go to the company's thing and you go to products, let me go to shareable first, and then I'll show you guys where I am here. All right. So let's just say we happen that one with everybody comments on puffiness, and you go, you know, I think I'm going to make this fun. You could do like a hands-on one, and you could even come on. Can you imagine if you come on camera and you've got your hydrogel eye patches on, or one on? Maybe you put a hydrogel eye patch on for 15 minutes, and then you jump on live, and you're talking about it. You say, this has already been on 15 minutes. 5 minutes into the thing, you peel it off, and they can see the difference. Does that make sense? You can also show before and afters. People were saying that testimonials have the biggest impact on purchasing than anything else. Testimonials for somebody other than you. Your testimonial is good, but when you have an outside consultant, girlfriend, customer, whatever, make a testimonial, it makes a huge difference. So you're just going to go onto Video Lounge. And if you go into Video Lounge, you click on shareable, and then they have all these ones, and then you can click on product. Okay. And they have how many? 85 shareable videos. Now, this one is 35 seconds long on the under eye bags. Now, if you're not savvy and you're like, Diane, I barely just figured out Zoom, I don't know how to screen share. Well, you guys, this is the beauty of becoming, you know, stepping outside your comfort zone. Once you screen share, go on here and play, right? Get your mom, your brother, your sister, your best friend to jump on Zoom with you. Now, Zoom, you can get a Zoom account for free, and it can last up to 40 minutes. You're not going to make any of these videos 40 minutes, or no one's going to watch, gang. You've got to keep them under 10 minutes. But let's say one of your first ones is on the under eye puffiness and bags. So here's a 35-second video. Okay. Then you're going to go down here. She talks a lot about the instant puffiness reducer, but this is like the science behind it, which I'm not sure you necessarily want to show, because that's a long video, 5 minutes. That's like a whole half of your thing. If you get down here, notice it says load more at the bottom. You click on load more, and it's going to show you more. Now, there's one specifically on the hydrogel eye patches, which is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go load more. I know it's in here somewhere. Let's see, that's micellar water. Nope, here's serum C. But you guys can see how these would apply to other topics, right? Here we keep going. Here's charcoal mask. Here's hydrogel eye patches, 31 seconds. So you play one on one, you play one on the other. That takes up 1 minute of your 7 to 10 minute class, and the rest you can do on your own. Does that make sense? So there is a product video, and most of these are really quite short. Some of the clinical solutions on retinol might be a little longer, or the boosters might be a little longer, but that's not a bad thing because this is the science behind the product, which I think customers, once they're educated, gives them the more buying power. They feel more confident making a purchase when they know what it does. So keep in mind, now let's talk about why would you use Zoom? You could totally go Facebook Live. I know many of you prefer Facebook Live, but let me just ask you a question. If, let's just say hypothetically, I'm not a Facebook girl. Let's say I do like some Instagram and that's it, emails. So if you post it on Facebook, I may never see it, right? But if you go on Zoom and you invite customers to jump on Zoom with you and say, I'm going live on Zoom at noon, and you're recording it. As soon as the recording is done, it's an 8 to 10 minute recording or whatever you decide, then you upload it to your YouTube channel. YouTube channels are free. Get a YouTube channel, upload it to the YouTube channel. Now you have a link. You take that link and you copy and paste it into your VIP page or Facebook or whatever you're doing. So now the Facebook people get to see it. But let's say I'm not a Facebook girl. Now you can text it to me and say, Diane, I'd love, you mentioned to me the under eye puffiness stuff was a big deal. I'm making, what you would probably do though is invite me first. Hey, I'm going live on Friday on Facebook, or excuse me, I'm going live on Friday on Zoom for this under eye puffiness thing. You sounded interested. And I'll say, oh my gosh, I'll be at work. Are you going to record it? And you say, yeah, I'm posting on Facebook. And I text you back, I don't do Facebook. And she goes, oh, I'll send you the link. So the advantage of going on Zoom and then recording it is now you've got a link. So now you've got this link. If you don't know how to do this, you guys, trust me, I'm not hyper techy. So, but if I can learn how to do this, you can totally learn how to do this. It's very, very simple. But if I'm a client who doesn't do Facebook, or if you have very little engagement on your Facebook, like I have, I don't know, like 80 customers, and they always do thumbs up and smiley faces. They very rarely comment. Well, that does nothing to my algorithms, meaning that when I post on my VIP page, most of them don't even see that I posted. So now I'm having to go back in and say, could you please comment on my Facebook page because no one's seeing the post because of the algorithms. So keep in mind, if you're just posting stuff on Facebook, you can make the greatest tutorials in the world. No one's seen them, possibly. But if you did it on Zoom and you recorded it, now you can upload it to YouTube, which is free. Okay. And make sure you put on there that no, it's not for kids, because as soon as you say no, it's not for kids, it does allow customers to comment. If you check yes, it's okay for kids, then they don't let them come, which doesn't make any sense to me, but that's one thing I learned in posting videos. So you will have your own little library of videos. Now, what's fun about that is then when you host a skincare party or something and someone's asking a question, say, oh my gosh, I have a 6-minute little infomercial on that. Let's watch that. And you could post and pull that up. So you'd have your own little collection. Now, why I'm suggesting, if you want to have a record-breaking month, why you'd want to do this is it's all about getting clients excited. So let's say Carolyn is on my thing and she sees it and she's like, oh my gosh, I want the under eye puffiness reducer or the instant puffiness reducer and the under eye patches. And I'm also out of my cleanser and my day cream. Well, now I'm looking at over $100 purchase. And so I might immediately reach out to her and say, would you like to get that at half off? And she'll text me back, what do you mean? Say, well, if you have 2 or 3 of your friends jump on Zoom, we could do a pampering and I can give you full hostess credit. So now all of a sudden you've got a way to turn in her wish list or her what she wants into a half off opportunity by her booking a party with you. All she needs is 2 to 3 people to call it a class, right? And if she says, yeah, I could do that, and she wants her stuff now. So if today was Friday, you could say, well, why don't we do this on Sunday afternoon? Nobody needs samples necessarily. If she wants to do samples, we can get samples in the mail immediately. Does that make sense? So this is an opportunity for you guys to get customers excited. Now, I would definitely suggest you do one for fall. I would definitely do one of your 8 parties or 10 parties this month as a fall thing. And the other fun thing is at every one of your every one of these little video live things you do on Zoom. And again, you guys, remember, you can get a Zoom account for free if you don't already have one, and it'll let you go up to 40 minutes. But here's what I did, is I ordered a couple more boxes of the sheet face masks, right? The ones that is the blue box. Okay, do you know that each mask only costs you $2.50? That's less than the mini eye makeup remover and micellar water gifts. And it looks wonderful. And so what I will do is during my virtual things, at every single one, I say, oh my gosh, at the end of the 10-minute thing, I'm drawing a winner. If you only have 3 people on, draw a name. If you have 2 people on, draw a name. And that thing is easy to mail, believe it or not. I know they say, does there liquid in there? And I always just kind of like, I just pirate ship it so that I don't have to ask the lady at the post office what's in it. So I just put the face sheet mask in a slightly padded envelope, and it cost me $3 to mail. But you know what? Usually they're going to order something from you. And so if they order it from you, then I just tuck that in their order unless I'm CDSing it. But you'll figure that out. Offer them something. But I will tell you, those face masks, I've been giving those as gifts with purchase, and I'm having a little bit more than 50% turn around and buy a box from me. So they get one, and I said, I really, really want your feedback. I really, really want your feedback. Can I call you tonight, or can I call you tomorrow to see what you think? And you've just got, I keep a sheet of free face masks, and I'm writing down who I'm giving one to, because after a while you deliver 8 or 9 bags, you're like, who do I give a free face mask to? Now, if they want a pure biocellulose one, they want to up it to anti-aging, of course, upsell that and talk to them about the difference. But they get great results. It's very inexpensive for them to use on a regular basis. So it's really fun. So let's just go back to our topic to wrap things up. So this is all about you guys getting engagement. This is about you guys getting people involved. So let's say you have one party on your books right now, one for the whole month of September. You're like, okay, I need to get more booked. Keep in mind, if you're going to mail out samples, unless you're doing everything in person, I'm still doing like 90% virtual, because I don't want to also be limited by who lives near my hostess. I want it to be whoever she loves, whoever's important to her in her life, right? So if I want to have 30 faces done before the end of the month, I know I need at least, in California, to mail out packages, I need at least 7 days to get packets out in the mail, even though I could mail them today. Well, it's a 3-day weekend, but I'm just saying, normally you mail them today, they take a long time to get there. So I'm thinking I might book 4 of these fun things right away, like literally starting on Monday or whatever, because I can't get packets out and throw a party together that fast, right? So you might even do 3 or 4 of these in the next 10 days and get the month front loaded with fun and information, and then squeeze these in between parties. The great thing I like about this is you could be like lunch with, you could just call it like lunch with Diane. It's like inside scoop, or you could say like inside scoop. Call it whatever you want, but I will tell you a couple of key things. Number one is be consistent. If you decide that you're going to post stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays, then post on every Tuesday and Thursday. And again, the classes, gang, don't take you a lot of time. Do not feel like you have to have a PhD in product knowledge. Whatever product you're talking about, like if you're talking about the masks, okay, you would just go to Product Central. I'm assuming you guys know where all this is, but let me just actually screen share one thing really quick with you, because you may not know this. I mean, I'm assuming you do, but I never like to assume anything. Okay, so you're going to go back on the company thing here. I'll screen share in just 2 seconds. I can't show you my screen because something new is on here that you're not supposed to see. Sorry. The perks of being a director. All right, so now let me screen share this one last thing to close with. All right, so if you are looking at doing some of these things, like let's say a lot of people are really curious about masks, or they're like, you have out of 20 people who text you back, and I would really push yourself to get 20 people to respond. Whatever it's going to take, get 20 people to send your feedback back. Let's say out of the 20, 15 of them put down they're curious about serums, and you're like, really? I had no idea serums were this big of a deal. You're going to go here to Product Central under here, right? Under products, click on Product Central. Then you're going to go down here to Comparison Shade Charts and Workshops. Click on that. And if you look up here in the very top, it says skincare. Here's one that compares all of our eye products, eye creams, eye gels, instant puffiness, everything's on here. This is one that talks just about serums. This one is just about masks. So let's say everybody says, we're curious about serums. You would literally screen share and show them this picture. I would download it so that the whole thing shows on one picture, but I could make it a little smaller so it all shows. But you're going to talk about these 4 serums, the order to put them on, how it works, and what each one does. This is what lifting serum does. This is what tone correcting does. Notice they do opposite things. Like everything the lifting serum does, the tone correcting does not do, which is why if they're trying to do both of these things, they need them both. Vitamin C does have overlap. Vitamin C does a lot of all of this. So if somebody says, I'm only going to use one serum, they might likely pick the vitamin C just because of what it does. But here's a perfect example of something you would share. Do you need a PhD in product knowledge? No. You just need to know that these charts are available for you. That's all. All right. So I hope you guys have found that helpful. So if you want to have a record-breaking September, or a record-breaking month, no matter what month you're listening to this, I would suggest that you pick right away, like in the next 12 days, I'd pick 4. That's just me. I'm a big thinker, but I'd pick 4 topics. I would get this text, email. I would email it, post it, and text it out to probably 40 people. And if you go, Diane, I don't know 40 people. Yes, you do. Check your Facebook. You know 40 people. I don't know that I would post it just on Facebook. I'd email it out and I would text it out. In fact, if you emailed it out, then you could text maybe your 20 best BFFs, friends, girlfriends, customers, and say, hey, I just sent you an email and I really need your feedback right away. Thanks so much. Now, you could say to them, for filling this survey out before you go to bed tonight, I will have a surprise. I will pop it in the mail to you, some fun free samples. And maybe you take a super easy sample, foundation primer, or a CC cream sample, or maybe 4 or 5 little eyeshadows. Just tuck them in an envelope. No more postage, no more anything. Just say, thanks for your input. And you throw in 5 samples of eyeshadows or 3 samples of eyeshadows, whatever. It's not what they get. It's just being thanked, if that makes sense. And it could be the same thing. So if you've got a young adult or a teenager that's got decent penmanship, you could just have them write, thanks for your input. I appreciate you. Heart, Brenda. And you put in there 4 samples, and you literally could pre-do those and then just address the envelopes as their feedback comes in. Does that make sense? All right. You guys, this is going to be any month you make the decision can be a record-breaking month. But I will tell you something from the bottom of my heart. If you do the work in September, and I would say for the next, let's say the next 6 weeks, between now and the middle of October, your holiday season will be off the chart, outrageously big, because you're going to be building customers and momentum. So right now, you could take everybody that you have facialed or talked to in the last 9 months. Literally go back 9 months. Go back to last December, and no matter when you're listening to this video, go back 9 months and say, who's bought from you? Who have you CDS'd an order to? Who have you, just go back and look. Those are the people I'd reach out to first and get them engaged, so that during the holidays, they're not only giving you their wish list of what they want, but they're doing their gift buying with you. And you guys haven't bought those beauty boxes, please get them before they're sold out. All right, you guys, have a great day. I appreciate you, and I hope you found this material helpful.